Yeah. Unknown Brain, Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating things to all the rumors.
What's up, y'all? Billy the Kid here again, back with another good one. And today we're going to be going over and reviewing the KME knife sharpener. How to use it, what to know about it, tips and tricks. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So what you're going to get right out of the box is you're going to get 4 stones if you buy the base set. You're going to get extra coarse 140, coarse 300, fine 600, and extra fine 1500 grit, all diamond stones. Alright, you're going to get your stone holder, you're going to get your rod that attaches to your stone holder, you're going to get your handheld KME sharpening clamp, and then you're going to get this stand to put it on. Alright, now what's some things that I've added to my set to make it complete in my mind? First off, you're going to need a pencil eraser and a permanent marker to do this accurately. I have added concave rod, so it's not straight, so it'll actually sharpen on a concave. A couple of these nice little stops that I can put on there and adjust real quick. I have a serration horn, or unicorn horn I like to call it, but it's just a diamond cone that attaches to the end of your sharpening rod, so you can do serrations. If you want to reprofile a blade, which means changing the degree from what is factory, you're probably going to need the Beast, which is a 50 grit, really coarse, and then a 100 grit, extra coarse. And this will give you a 6 stone from beginning to end to reprofile and put a new degree on something. Then if you want to clean the edge up and make it look real nice, you're probably going to want some strops. So I have 2 different ones, Kangaroo strops. They sell bigger sets, and you know, you can really get into some money, and you can get to where you can polish a mirror edge, mirror finish on there. But I didn't really think I needed all that. I got one for polishing compound, and then I have some 4 micron, which is basically like 4000 grit, that I use on my other Kangaroo strop, and that does well enough for me. I'm not going for mirror edge. And then something that I felt was necessary is a digital angle meter, so I can really know my degree. You know, you can get one of the regular ones with a needle that you put on there from Home Depot for like $9. This ran about, and with an edge on a blade, I really want to know exactly what I'm putting on there. And then something else I added was just some little magnets, 3M adhesive magnets to the top of my stone holder, so I can set my degree meter on there and know, you know, I ain't got to worry about it falling off or anything like that. So the way this works is you loosen it up, and then when you press the spring, it releases tension on the clamp. Alright, you want to put it in on your knife on the hilt, or the thickest part. Alright, thickest part. You want to try and remember where you put it on your knife, so you can sharpen it in the same way each time and keep a consistency there. So I like to find the straight edge where it starts to bevel and go thin or something like that, and then put it there. Then you want to hold pressure on the clamp with your fingers, and then tighten down on your deal here, and then cinch that down, get it nice and tight so that isn't going to move. Alright, now your blade's clamped in, and now you can still press the spring in and make it swivel. Alright, flip side to side. Next, what you want to do is, if you're going to keep your factory edge, you need to find what degree that is. So you take a permanent marker and you just paint the edge, and then you would take your stone. I start off with 1500 grit to find my edge, not to start off sharpening, But I'm not trying to take any material away. I'm just trying to remove that permanent marker mark off of the edge. So I don't want to take any meat off in case I'm at the wrong angle. You know, I'm just trying to find the angle. I'd already found the angle earlier on this one, and it's like 21 degrees, which is much more than what I like on anything. I like to go no more than like 19. And if I have a good hard steel like M390 or something like that, I like 17 because it still holds an edge, but it's just razor sharp. But you would, let me put my stop in here. I like to put my stop on this side and then set it to where it won't go any further than the top of this bracket, so I'm not dinging the edge with the top of my bracket. Alright, so I got that there. I can't go no further up. Then I set my stone midway of the blade here. See that? Just to find the angle. Alright, now we would take our digital meter, angle meter. I'm sitting on this, so that's not even. On a flat level surface, I'm going to turn it on and zero it out on my base, so I know everything is concurrent and starting off zeroed together. I'm going to put that on there, and we're right at 21 degrees where I said I had found the angle earlier. So if I give this some strokes, I'll just hit it real lightly real quick. And then if I show you that in the light, hopefully y'all can see. Over here is permanent marker and here is permanent marker, but it is cleaned off that edge. It's taken that permanent marker off that edge. That shows me that I've found the right degree, or what degree this is at right now. I don't like that degree, so I'm going to reprofile this thing. It's going to take a little longer, but I want it to be sharper than 21 degrees. So to do that, I'm going to start off with my 50 grit. I told y'all I'd put this eraser in my kit. An eraser is like the best for cleaning your stones. You just rub it across there, and it'll pull that particulate right out of those fine little diamond particles that are embedded in the stone. So it works really well. They're cheap and they last a good while. I'm gonna set the 1500 off to the side, go back to the 50, and then I will set my degree to what degree I want this knife at, which I'm gonna go with 18 on this Cobra Tech. I did a review on these. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. They're pretty good budget OTF knife. I'm really happy with mine thus far, and I'll be doing an updated video down the road after I get some good longevity use out of this thing and see how she does. But so far so good. Alright, so now I'll get back on here and I will bring this to 18 degrees. And it's okay if you're off by, you know, a few temps or whatever. It's not, you're not going to notice any difference, and it'll still keep an pretty even edge. I mean, not enough for you to notice with your naked eye. It's very minute. It can be almost impossible to get it right where you want it. Alright, now we're at 18. I'm going to put another fresh permanent marker spot where I cleaned off there. And what I want to do is give this good even strokes all the way across till it removes all of my permanent marker across there. And that's how I know I took away enough. You can also hold this in your hand if you want. It does work well handheld. This is sharpening really quick. These diamond stones make light work of most steels unless you're dealing with something super hard. This is D2, which it is hard, but light work for the KME. Another thing too is you want to make sure you're not riding your clamp. You can see marks where I first when I first started using this thing, I kind of wore on the edge of this clamp. Don't use these marks and trust these marks on this. They're close, but they're not accurate enough to continue to use. Alright, so once you have removed your permanent mark, and try to keep kind of a mental note of how many strokes excuse me, how many strokes you put on that side. You want to flip your blade, mark the other side, and do the same amount of strokes from the other side until you've removed your permanent marker. And if your blade moves around in your clamp, you're not going to get a consistent edge, so you need to reset it and make sure that you got it good and tight. What you're looking for is a burr. Alright, you want to sharpen till you can feel a burr come across that edge. Alright, once you can feel the burr all the way across the edge, you know you've worked it over to that side. Then you can flip over and clean that burr off going back the other way. So you roll it to a burr, you feel your burr all the way across, your permanent marker lines are even and gone. Flip over, do the same exact thing going back to the other side with the same grit. Then once you have that burr laid back the other way, after you flipped, you go to your next grit and do it again. And you just work that process over and over, stepping up on grits. Be careful when you get to the end not to roll your point. You want to just go to the point and keep it flat on that edge, but you don't want to roll over or roll off the point. There's also something called tear out. You may not get a burr. You might be just ripping, so to speak, on a very minute level, the metal off of the edge every time you're upstroking. So you might want to just do downstrokes. Me, I don't really care if I get the burr or not, because I kind of know how much I'm putting on each side as I go. You know, it's just kind of like a mental thing. Like I'll spend a certain amount of time doing the same motion on this side, working it over. And I know when I flip over, even if I don't have my burr, I still reach the apex of the blade. Okay, I still reach the pinnacle, and now I'm wearing too much on this side, flip over, wear back. You can, just by sight alone, look down the edge of this blade. Alright, I don't know if it's going to focus in for that. Let's see. You can, nah, it's not going to focus, y'all. But I mean, you can see what each side looks like, and if one's beveled more over the apex than the other. And then it's up to you to keep that in the middle. So I've kind of got to the point to where that's what I do. You know, I like looking at the edge of the blade, and I mean, it is easier using a permanent marker, and if it does make the bevel, but as long as you're consistent and everything's set, nothing's loose, and everything's staying consistent, you're gonna wind up with the edge you're looking for. So I'm gonna fast forward through this whole process, because that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And then I'll show y'all the end result, what kind of edge I got with this thing, and it's well worth the money. You can get one of these for when I go to check my edge, sometimes you'll notice a little fine particle of metal, kind of, let's see if I can get some light on that. See all that metal shavings? It's like magnetized to the blade. So when you go to look in the light, all you see is like those particles stuck to the blade. See if I can. Anyways, the way you clear that off is just take your eraser, stick it on your edge, and run it down the blade, and it'll grab all that metal particulate and whip it off that edge for you, so you can get a good eyesight on the wear that you're putting on that blade. Important thing to note when stropping. Alright, this is Kangaroo. You can use leather, whatever. This is just finally take that last bit of rolled over edge off, or any burrs that might be left over. Only pull down, because this is leather, you know, soft material. If you go up, this finely tuned edge will just shred that to pieces, and you'll be out of your 15 or 20 bucks or whatever you paid for yours. So downstrokes only, pick up, downstroke only, downstroke only, downstroke only. If you forget to do that, you'll only do it once, or you'll continue to buy more. How's that? Be careful too. I have a tendency of doing this. When you get to the edge, if you push down too hard, you can pop your clamp out, and that can be dangerous. It can startle you, make you, want to move out the way and stuff like that. So a lot of times I'll pop a thumb up over and just set it on this side of the clamp, because I do like to apply pressure when I'm stropping, because I feel like it helps work them scratches out quicker. Also, if you notice, I'm digging into my strop a little bit, because I'm coming over the edge of that point and pulling it across on that point and shoving it down, so the back side of the point's catching. I need to be a little more careful there. I don't have to overshoot that point so much. Be careful when taking your blade out, because by this point it is extremely sharp. I'm gonna clean this thing up real quick and then give y'all a demo of the end result. It's definitely shiny. Now they sell micro lapping films. It's like glass plates that go to like 180,000 micron, and you can literally get like the most beautiful mirror finish you ever thought about on these things, to where you can literally see your face and the edge of your blade. This is pretty dang good, but this is only, you can see those little light scratches when I hold it at the right angle. But I mean, at other angles, it looks almost mirror, and the light just bounces right off of it. It's a really fine edge, but that's like entry-level strop at 4,000 micron. You can get up to like 180,000, and now you're just being an edge snob. For me, I wanted something that looked halfway decent, but really is just stupid sharp. So I'm gonna show y'all how sharp this is now. So, how sharp is it? Sharp enough that you can turn your blade while in the paper and do little curves like that. I mean, how sharp do you want a blade? Because you can take little bitty slivers. I mean, you can just shave paper now with this thing. Tell me that ain't sharp. If you ever wondered if you wanted to get a KME to get a really sharp knife, I mean, that ain't proof enough for you. It'll take the hair off of your arm. That was just one little whoop. I'll take a little more for you. That's gonna be bald for a while. But yeah, KME, can't go wrong. Final thoughts. KME, with an hour's time, At most, once you pretty much know what you're doing, you're gonna have a razor sharp, dangerous knife. Tips and tricks and advice. Light is your friend, especially sunlight, natural sunlight. That's why I did that right in front of this window. This isn't the best filmed video because of the lighting conditions, but it makes it real easy to see that edge and what you're doing. That edge is so apexed, it's really hard once you get it down to keep it in sight of where it's wearing. So you want to use that reflection of light on the edges to see where it's at. Permanent marker and eraser is invaluable. Permanent marker will let you know that you're wearing evenly and keeping the same degree and all that. Everything's locked down tight. This will keep your edge cleaned off to where you can see the apex, because once you get that burr on there or you get tear out and you got metal shavings kind of magnetized to the edge, you really got to pull that off. And it's dangerous to do that with a cloth or with your fingers, because once you get into it, if you go to wipe that blade off or whatever, one little slip up and it'll go right through that cloth, right through your finger. So use an eraser. As far as other tips and tricks go, get you some stops, something like those. Those are extra. They don't come in any of the sets. Go ahead and order that, because that'll keep you from running this bracket possibly into your finely tuned edge, and it'll also keep you from going past the edge with your fingers, because your fingers are constantly on the end of this. So that stop is a great safety precaution. As far as, do you need the extra coarse stones, the Beast and the 100? You don't, unless you plan on reprofiling blades often. If you're going to change the factory degree, you're going to want them, because that whole process for this knife, we completely changed the degree and went to a brand new different edge to mirror finish in about 45 minutes time. If I would have had to do that with just the 4 basic stones, it probably would have been closer to a 2-hour job. And this is D2 steel. It's hard, but it isn't the hardest out there if you got some fine edges. When I did my M390 Kershaw knockout with a concurve edge, concurve is the rod that is curved, okay? So you're putting an edge that is curved. It takes a lot longer to wear out, but it takes a lot longer to put on, because you can't work that stone sideways any kind of which way. You have to go the full length of the stone straight on each spot, and then move over and full length straight each spot. So it was probably like a 4 to 5 hour ordeal to put that edge on that M390. Really hard metal there. But I would literally cut carpet with that knife and sheetrock and all for a month while guys were just shedding box blades. But that knife would stay sharp, razor sharp, for a month of hard, heavy use. It was incredible. It still is. But I did wind up getting away from that concurve and put a flat edge back on it, because it's so much quicker to touch up. Now that I have this nice flat 18 degree on here, I can go back to this a month from now after daily use and spend 10 minutes touching it with 1500 and a little stropping, and it's going to go right back to how razor sharp it is now. So that part is done. Oh, big tip. When you get it in your clamp, take a picture of it in the clamp so you consistently put it in the same spot in the clamp. Make an album of knives, and then whatever degree you put on that knife. So if you go 6 months without sharpening it, you're not wondering and you got to find it again, label that picture 18 degree. And it'll have all the information you need. You can go to that album, My Knives, see the knife that you want to sharpen, see where you had clamped it, and you'll have it named 18 degree. So now you have a point of reference you can always keep up with. If you're anything like me, you got a shoebox full of them in your closet, just because you collect them over the years. We all have knives. And you're going to want to remember. You ain't going to want to have to figure out everything you did beforehand. Also, with the unicorn horn, I did this on my M390 knockout. You can add a serration just right there, and I like to do it to some of my knives, my EDCs, for fishing. If you're fishing, and you just want to pop the line or whatever, you can loop the line over and set it right there in that groove you've put on there, and it makes a great fishing line popper. So just little things, y'all. I hope you enjoyed the video. It isn't my best work, but I wanted to give y'all something. I've had a lot go on. I've had a funeral in the past week. I lost my uncle that was very close to me. And I totaled the front end of my car on a little 40-pound Jack Russell Terrier on the interstate, you know. So may my uncle and that dog rest in peace, and my car's resting in pieces out in the yard. And just a whole lot going on. Some things coming up. We are gearing up to get into competition shooting. This is my belt that I'm working on. I just got a new pistol that I will be competing with, that I will do a review on. I'm not ready to fire it yet. Barrel block. This is a CZ Shadow 2. Very high end, very gorgeous pistol. Beautiful trigger. Just, it's competition ready out of the box. So we'll go over that. All steel, very heavy, doesn't move. 3-pound single action trigger pull. Just a gorgeous gun to have in the collection, and this is what I will be competing with, and we'll do a full review on that in the future. I'll also be reviewing some blue bullets, which is what I'll be shooting competitively. I will be reviewing a bunch of reloading equipment we just got into. Still waiting to get our tumbler in, but we have drying rack, media separator, and all that, and I'd like to go over the basics of reloading, and that might be a series all in itself. So I appreciate y'all watching and tuning in. That's some more of the things we have to look forward to. I have a lot of plans, just takes time to put together good quality content. This was thrown together, like I said, not my best work. I just wanted to give y'all something because I've had to reprioritize lately because of everything that's going on, such is life. So thank y'all for keeping up and still continuing to follow along. Please share if you think anybody would like this or wants to know about a KME. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Next episode, we will be doing either a VR-80 tactical AR style shotgun for 3-gun competition. I have a guy that would like me to review that, but he's been out of town hunting. It is hunting season, and down there in the south that takes priority for most people. Or possibly a tactical solution 1022. Or we might just do a series of 22s that I have. I have a Mark IV, which is awesome, great to practice with, an SR22, which is great to practice double action, and then we have your stock 1022, which is the most popular 22 out there, and then we have a fully custom 1022. And why you would want to sink a pile of money into one of those. They are extremely fun, and the biggest advantage is you can afford to practice. You can afford to shoot it. So maybe we'll do a series on that. Like I said, a lot of material that I have to work with. It's just a matter of spending the time putting it together. Come see me at Pelican State Armory in Mandeville. Peter will take real good care of you. I also have some stickers that I will mail you for free if you send me an address to ship them to. I have no problem doing that. That helps us out. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. See y'all.